In this video, I will attempt to learn Python programming language using custom GPT. This is Imtiaz. Welcome back to my channel. A little bit of background. I'm a Python programmer with over 5 years of experience, and I've seen the world of Python develop tremendously over the last few years. I'm going to explore how modern learning tools like ChatGPT could actually assist you in acquiring the programming language a lot faster. Let's get started. First, you need to go to chat.openai.com and then go to gptstore.ai. Then pick Fluent Python from the GPT collection. The challenge is simple. I'll pose as a beginner and ask the custom GPT various Python related questions. We'll see how effectively it guides a newbie. Now, you might be wondering, what is a custom GPT? Well, it's an AI-driven tool designed to facilitate learning. Custom GPTs can provide a personalized learning experience, making this journey smoother and more interactive. Now, this GPT was designed to be very beginner-friendly. So as you can see, when I asked what is Python, it gave me an answer that was very brief, concise, and also easy to understand. Let's just say I want to know what Python code looks like, and we can give it a prompt to give me some examples. And Python code actually is known for its readability, so the GPT is quickly providing me a few examples of Python code that can be used for specific beginner-friendly applications. This is great. It looks like it could be easy to understand, but I still need more conviction. So I'm going to ask, why do I need to learn Python? Let's see what it says. Okay, at this point, I am pretty sold why I need to learn Python. So now I need to know what is the best methods to learn Python. And now the GPT is going to give me a few universal ways and some, interesting ways to learn Python as well. Work on smaller projects, join Python communities, work with the basics, online courses and tutorials. These are pretty good methods, I would say. And it has helped me a lot in my personal journey. 5 years ago, when I started learning Python, the landscape was quite different. We relied heavily on textbooks, online forums, and a lot of trial and error. But the world of programming education has transformed, and that's why GPT can be a game changer for streamlining your learning. As you can see, it gave me a few basic concepts, and I'm going to show you how you can apply these concepts and start learning straight away. This is also interesting. Notice how the GPT is also asking you an open-ended question. This is because the prompt was created so that it is beginner-friendly and it is also acting as a teacher. Now let's say if you want to download this resource as a Word doc or an Excel file, you are now able to do so with GPT-4 Pro. And just within the prompt, you can ask ChatGPT to produce that document. And it's very super helpful later on when you want to reference these codes as well. Okay, so in my case, it did not work. Now, the GPTs are still in beta mode, so some of the features might not be working 100%, but give it a shot and see if that works on your end. Now I want to know what softwares do I need to learn Python. This is super important because then you can start learning and applying all these concepts that we talked about previously. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask the GPT for some free tools that I can use to run Python. And also note that the tools and softwares you're going to use is going to be based on why you're learning Python, whether it's for web scraping, software development, or data science. So it's really important, the application. So I specifically asked for some free tools to run Python on the web because I don't want to install any softwares right now. I just want to get started. So let's see what it gives me. Now I'm going to recommend you a free tool. This is from Google. It's called Google Collaboratory, and it's absolutely free, and it's also very scalable, easy to get started. The benefit of using that is that it's basically designed for data scientists, but the code is written as a notebook, so you can organize your code as blocks, which is super helpful when you're starting to learn Python. I'm going to show you in a minute. So you're going to go to collab.research.google.com and create a notebook. And you can name your notebook anything you want. So in the beginning, you just want to be comfortable copying and pasting code from the GPT to your Google Collaboratory notebook. You can just copy and paste them in different blocks, so that's easy for you to organize and then run them. As you're copying and pasting the code, try to understand what each of these are doing. What is a variable? What are the data types? Integers, strings, variables. What are all these? You can try also changing each of the variables and seeing what happens. Next, I'm going to start playing around with the basic operations, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication. As you're doing this, make sure you read up on it in the custom GPT as well. And if you have any questions, you can always ask the GPT, and it'll always tell you if you've made a mistake or if you need further clarification in understanding a specific concept. Okay, check this out. I ran the code, but then I came across an error. Fortunately, I knew what the problem was. I did not define a variable in the previous block. That's why this block had an error. So I'm going to try to print a variable instead of text in the which I did in the first block. So feel free to play around with concepts here and there, just so you can get used to writing code yourself and not just copying and pasting. Okay, so I already learned how to create a variable. I learned how to use basic operations with the variables. Now check this out. You can create a variable that stores operations consisting of other variables, right? So you can stack on concepts as you go and build on top of what you've already built. So this makes Python so much easier, and it will save you so much time. And check this out, you can also add comments to each of these blocks. So the way you add comments is by using control plus backslash and then adding any string of text that you want commented out. And this is super helpful if you want to review code later or just for traceability purposes. Now, when you got comfortable with variables, basic operations, and understanding data types, the next piece is understanding how to use lists. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the list here, but I'm going to start doing something more. I'm going to start to create my own list using the same framework. So instead of fruits, I'm going to say, okay, how about a food variable? And then I'm going to create a list with items in the list. And then I can name these items. Notice again what I'm doing here is getting comfortable writing my own code rather than copying and pasting. This is going to help you tremendously to accelerate your learning. Now, as you're writing your own code, try to understand the importance of the formatting. In this case, the commas, the open and closed brackets, these are all important. So keeping that the same while changing the name of the items is going to be the main thing to keep in mind as you're writing code. Okay, I'm going to keep my own code and I'm going to run it. And that's a good sign when you see a check mark right next to the block after you run it. So that means it ran successfully. Now I'm going to stack on some other concepts that I've learned earlier, which is printing a variable. Now I just printed a list. So the next thing I want to learn is control structures. It's essentially if-else statements, for loops, and while loops. If-else is going to be the most important one here. I'm going to copy and paste it as it is from the GPT. I've also put it on the first block because I have defined A and B with numerical integers. And with the if and else statement, it's just going to check if it meets a certain condition. Now check this out. After I run the code, I'm getting an error. This is a cool way you can diagnose the error. All you have to do is just copy the whole code in that block. And then what you're going to do is open up a new ChatGPT instance. You're going to prompt it, can you help me understand the error? And then put the code there that you copied, and it's going to say, it's going to give you exactly what the error is, and it's going to give you the solution. This is very, very useful because before, I remember I had to use Stack Overflow and go through different iterations to understand the error, diagnose the error, and eventually learn what the mistake was. And now you just have to use ChatGPT, which is the best teacher in the world, to help you understand the error. But also you're getting lessons on how to diagnose the error, so which is amazing. Now we're gonna go to my favorite control structure, which is for loops. For loops is the king of scalability, and this is what makes Python so awesome, because you can use for loops to iterate over a list of items, or you can run a code maybe 100 times by setting up a for loop. So this is amazing. Now check this out. This is amazing. Since I've already established a list called food in my previous code block, all I have to do is run a for loop on that list now, and this is the way I'm running it. So it's for item in food, so it's gonna go through all the items in the list called food, and it's gonna print out that item. I've also added some string formatting so that it formats the answer in such a way. Alright, so the next piece that I want to learn is the while loop. So I'm going to copy the while loop from the GPT into a new code block and follow along and model what I'm doing. In that way, you can get used to writing the code and also understanding how the while loop works. In this case, there's a condition, and also if it meets the condition, it's going to print out an item from the list. The way it understands which item to take is through the I variable here. And I'm going to change up the I variable and seeing how it responds each time. And feel free to do the same. In that way, you get comfortable using the while loop as well. Now, this is another useful way that you can accelerate your learning, is to take specific code from a bigger code block, running it in individual blocks here and seeing how it responds. For example, I pulled out the length of food code to understand what is the length of that list. And then I'm also trying to understand how to pick out specific items from a list using an index. In this case, I had an error, but you can always diagnose the error using ChatGPT or just playing around in general. And the last thing I want to learn today is how to use functions. So again, I'm going to copy the code from the GPT here, and then I'm going to paste it back into my Google Collaboratory notebook. So notice what I'm doing here is trying to write the code myself. This is a great way to get used to writing your own code and understanding the formatting of the code as well. So as you're writing your code, try to change the variable names, try to change some of the strings, try to change the comments, try to change the name of the function. Everything is going to help you accelerate the learning, and it's okay to make mistakes. Every time you make a mistake, there's an error. You can quickly diagnose it with ChatGPT and then learn what the mistake was and then go to the next learning piece. And the most important, but not the last thing you want to do, is start working on projects. Beginner-friendly projects. You can ask Fluent Python to give you some project ideas. You can build a calculator, a to-do list. Quickly start using the Python code that you've learned and applying it. This is going to accelerate your learning by 110%, even more. Now you have ChatGPT, you have custom GPT. You literally have no excuses now. This is so much easier. I'm almost jealous that it is so easy right now, but I'm also excited for you that you're taking the first step to learning Python using ChatGPT or custom GPTs. Good luck. You can see how ChatGPT or custom GPTs can actually help you streamline the learning process, especially learning a complex language like Python. If you have experience in Python and OpenAI, definitely give me a call. I'm gonna put my Calendly link in the description. Let's talk about business opportunities. Knowing Python in this time would accelerate not only your career, but would also allow you to create a lot of innovative products. It's a lot easier now because ChatGPT can actually write code for you. A lot of the times you would be managing what's coming back and checking for errors. But knowing a fundamental Python level is very crucial, especially also working with custom GPTs. If you are a business and would like to enhance your customer engagement, definitely talk to me as well. If you found value in this video, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell. I'm posting content in this topic every week consistently. Also, don't forget to join my Discord community. I'm gonna put the link in the description. When you join the Discord community, you'll have access to all my free templates and worksheets. Also, you'll get to network with like-minded individuals also working in this space, including Python developers, Voiceflow developers, as well as businesses working in this space. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.